All right, a day late. I tried to make this season finale like 30 million like times ago yesterday, but somehow I couldn't come up with anything because the stuff that's in the news I really don't care to talk about. But I tried to give myself a break to think, and then the app just did the whole close itself down. So here I am just freestyling it once again. But I guess I can start with the election crap and the ads and everything. First off, this mail-in voting thing. I remembered how like a couple weeks ago they said that the mail-in voting is easier to manipulate. And nobody pointed out that they said easier, which means that the old way is manipulate. They can manipulate it then too. To me, that's an admission that this shit kind of happens. Your vote sometimes for the benefit just get the shits tossed. That's what happens. So I have a hard time valuing voting anyway at this point. If you're telling me that you're trashing each other, saying that with this party or no, that party can, if they're petty enough, they'll just throw your shit out. I don't understand how do you not feel defeated at that point? I feel defeated as far as voting goes. And then what else happened? Joe Biden, right? He had an ad yesterday that annoyed the hell out of me because I know people are going to fall for it. It was like a second type rendition of the ad he did with the single mom, playing to just an emotion. Oh, I was a single dad. I know how it is. Blah blah blah. Like, I'm going to tell you the ad, and then I'm going to tell you how he both really just says nothing. It just literally just goes based on your emotion, which has nothing to do with reality, none of that. So this ad, he started off with saying, hey, I don't want to take the time to try to pull it up because I'm lazy. But he said, when I got voted into the state senate or something like that, it was in a hospital because my wife and my child or children had just gotten in an accident and died. And then years later, his son got terminal cancer or something like that. And then another instance he mentioned, and each time, after each example, he said, I couldn't imagine if I didn't have health care during these times. And then he ultimately ended it with every American deserves affordable health care. Now let's think about that. Now the last ad that I told you about were the single mother, he said, I'm a single parent as well. He tried to make it as if in both situations that he and you, the normal person, share something. No, you fucking don't. No, you don't. Look what he said in this ad. My wife and my child died in an accident. No offense, ladies. Don't be offended. Most single mothers are single mothers because her and that dude are just shit. They just can't fucking figure it out. They're just irresponsible. They didn't vet each other. They didn't make sure their lives were correct before making another one. That's why she's a single mother. It wasn't because of an accident. Most cases. Most. So how the fuck does his situation relate to yours? And then on top of that, to tie them both in, the welfare part, the healthcare part, which is really the same thing. He says, I couldn't imagine if I didn't have healthcare. Do you really think he's off here with some bullshit Medicaid card? Really? Do you really think, and then being voted into the Senate seat, do you really think he has the same bullshit healthcare you have? No. So how does he share anything with you? How does he share a struggle with you? His bills are paid. Have you seen his net worth? How is that at all similar? How are you? If anything, you should be insulted for saying, yeah, we all should have healthcare when you know for a fact his healthcare is superior to yours. But he wants you to feel good about yours. Come on, dude. And you'll fall for that? And then the way he ended it with every American should have affordable healthcare. What the hell is affordable? That's stupid. The only way you can even use the word affordable, you have to use it based on situation. And if you use it based on situation, it will not work. It will not work. Because just because you're a poor person does not mean you're going to have poor accidents. It doesn't mean you're not going to break your leg. It doesn't mean your child isn't going to break their leg. So what the hell is affordable? So if you get a bill you can't afford, you get to just say, all right, that pool everybody pays into with their taxes. Yeah, make this affordable for me. That idea, I want to blow up a hospital after that. Just for the fuck of it. Why do you get to do that? But I'm going to leave politics alone because that's all I have in politics. Another story that broke that I really don't care about, but we're only at 6 minutes right now, is Cardi B got a divorce. And the one example that I want to bring up to show you how people will relate anything to cover up some bullshit they believe in is this chick on Facebook reposted. It said, you know how the men say this, these people say that, blah blah blah. So it was a meme, a picture of Cardi B and her husband and Will and Jada, and it said when Cardi B gets a divorce because her husband cheats on her, men are like, oh, what happened to your WAP? Guess wasn't good enough. I guess blah 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 blah. You know, making fun of the fact that she say don't gotta cook, her song and the way she presents herself in her music. And then it said when Jada cheats, oh, Will doesn't deserve this. He deserves better. Blah 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 blah. Right? And it's trying to show some hypocrisy in men. Now, I'm pretty sure hypocrisy exists somewhere in men. Obviously, people tend to be hypocrites. That's that. That's not dismissing that as like justifying it, but I can admit that there will be hypocrisy in men found somewhere. But that situation is not hypocritical at all. The snapback at Cardi B in this situation, right, is the amount of shit Cardi B has talked when questioned about her music. And then the fact that nobody outside of some conservatives on YouTube and so on and so forth questioned her when she admitted to drugging men and doing all this shit to them. And a dude named Godfrey, the comedian, even went on DJ Vlad and said that it was funny because, I mean, hey, they probably was trying to get over on her, and I think it's funny. That fake female empowerment type shit that you all fall for, that's what he did. So when you let all that pile up, and then now she's getting a divorce, and it's like, dude, your husband is the dude in your songs. Your husband he's in the culture that you rap about nonstop. Ironically, you released a song with lyrics that says, I don't cook, I don't clean. Let me tell you how I got a ring. Yeah, from a nigga that doesn't value you, apparently. I mean, well, maybe he values you, but obviously not enough to not cheat. Not enough to have self-control. So how did you get the ring? Because that's what you got it from. That's how you got it. Now, when you compare it to Will and Jada, what the fuck does Will do that you could really criticize him for? That dude keeps his life pretty much private. I'm not going to say he's a saint. I don't know. But he keeps his life pretty private. And the stuff he does present, he tries to be as crystal clean as possible. He tries to be, well, squeaky clean, my bad. He tries to be squeaky clean. He doesn't, he has the nice guy persona. He goes to work. He does his job. He laughs with people. He dances. He has good guy rap. That's who Will is on the surface. So yeah, it's a different reaction with the two. Someone gets sympathy, someone doesn't. That's what happens based on your impressions of people. So I'm going to end it with this article that I just came across on Governor Whitmer of Michigan. Before I seen this article, I seen something last week about people are not happy with the fact that the way she used her powers in the state of emergency. And yeah, can you blame them? I mean, it's almost like she was doing things just to seem like she's on par with everyone else, or that she's just taking control. And it was highly unnecessary the way she did it. And even I seen a quote that sounded like she was threatening to go backwards. Despite the numbers being low, she wants to go backwards. Like, we just got the gyms open and she wants to go backwards. But anyway, so title is Governor Whitmer, Loss of Powers Could Put Michigan Back in Danger Zone. And it says Governor Whitmer said her use of emergency powers to manage the pandemic is not unique, and she worries that efforts to take her unilateral authority, if successful, could lead coronavirus cases to spike to dangerous levels in Michigan. How? Literally, what you're doing is really half-assed. So going not half-assed could lead to what? And people, how do people find out that they even have coronavirus? Because I'm struggling. You notice they're not showing any hospitals anymore. So who are these thousands and thousands and thousands of people that's just being reported positive every day? And like, they don't send me the numbers anymore on my news app. But even when they were 1,000 people across the entire state, how big is Michigan? That's like one person every 1,000 square feet, just to make up a number, but it's pretty low. The Democrat locked down the state in the spring when the deadly virus hit and threatened to overwhelm hospitals, but she has since reopened schools and much of the economy, with restrictions on gathering sizes and businesses such as restaurants. Throughout the summer, Michigan has fared better with COVID-19 than many other states after it was initially a hotspot nationally. If you started the lockdown in the spring and it went on for 6 or 7 months, how can you claim that you were one of the better states? You couldn't have been. If it were, wouldn't you have abandoned your lockdown like 3 months ago? Why does it take a half a year to reach satisfactory levels for a partial reopening when you are one of the better states? And don't tell me it's because we went to a lockdown. Like, if you went to an actual lockdown, then that means your lockdown didn't work. It didn't work if it takes this long. But I'm sure it's just the people who refuse to wear the mask. I'm sure of that. Whitmer credited residents for taking the virus seriously and doing what they, quote, what they needed to do, unquote, in a state where the coronavirus has contributed to nearly 7,000 deaths. Quote, but the thing that keeps me up at night is the fact that all of this sacrifice we've made and the work that we've done could just evaporate if we drop our guard, if we stop masking up, she told the Associated Press on Thursday. Well, end quote after up. Dude, several sources have said the first wave is really the most threatening wave. Then after that, it's not that I don't want to say not that serious, make people think that is I think it's a joke, but it's not even remotely close as far as dangerous as the first one, because it's something they said is a herd immunity. I'm not sure of the definition, but I'm pretty sure it means you're not as affected by the virus, in which people, let's think about it, it mostly affects old people, and your body gets over it. So which I still don't understand why this whole cure thing is even a thing. Why are we trying to find a cure when your body fucking cures it? Like, what the hell? Just let your body fucking cure it. Michigan's per capita rate of new cases in the past 2 weeks ranks 13th lowest among states, according to an IP analyst of data from Johns Hopkins University. The COVID tracking project, which the AP uses to track testing, says the state's 7-day average positivity rate is the 11th lowest. About 2.4% of those tested are getting positive results. So why aren't we open all the way back up? Why? Whitmer has said Michigan's economy is operating at 87% of what it was since March, citing figures from Monday's Analytics and CNN. The 8.7% unemployment rate, unchanged in August, was double what it was before the pandemic. So just keep that going and just give people free money. No wonder why people are upset. Don't know why. Republican lawmakers are in court challenging the governor's ability to continually extend the state of emergency, the underpinning of her orders, without their approval. A group, unlike Michigan, is nearly done collecting signatures for a veto-proof ballot initiative that would enable the GOP-controlled legislature to repeal a 1945 law that gives Whitmer her power to act on her own. What? If the president can't act on his own, why the fuck would you let the governor act on their own? Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. That she can act on her own. Why? What happened in 1944 that made this a law? A 1976 law, which requires legislative approval to lengthen an emergency, will remain intact. So who the fuck was voting with her to do this? Quote, if we become the one state in the nation that doesn't have a state of emergency and we drop everything, we could see our numbers climb quickly and get right back into a danger zone, unquote, she said. There is a tendency to think Michigan is unique, she said, but, quote, we're doing what every other state is doing to keep people safe, unquote. Really? Really? So Florida is doing what you're doing. Really? Texas is doing what you're doing. Really? No, it's you in California that's on this bullshit. And please compare Florida per capita to Michigan. I want to see it. Why has that not been compared yet? They let people go to beaches every day. You don't let people into the fucking gym. I want to see the compared numbers. Why hasn't she done that? It would help her case, right? But she hasn't done it. I'm pretty sure that hers isn't better than Florida's. Unlike Michigan spokesman Fred Walslick, said the governor's contention is, quote, nonsensical unless you assume that the governor would be completely unable to persuade the legislature to continue a single one of her pandemic policies. Our proposal doesn't revoke any of her policies. We simply revoke her authority to impose her policies by decree, bypassing the legislature, unquote. I really feel like that dude just said, we do, but we don't. I really feel like he just said that because I didn't understand any of that. How was it any different than what they just said? We got like 8 paragraphs left. Republicans, including Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey, have questioned the reasoning behind Whitmer's orders and have said no businesses, including movie theaters, should still be closed. The confrontation comes at Whitmer's top aide said is a serious juncture. Her chief legal counsel, Mark Totten, pointed to residents' increased contact with others as she has slowly loosened her, quote, safe start, unquote, order over several months. Some universities and colleges have seen hundreds of cases since starting classes. K-12 schooling is underway. Okay, look, these colleges that's being tested positive for COVID, all this stuff. Look, if they've been tested positive for COVID, right? How long have they had it? And they're all asymptomatic, apparently. Do you think maybe they'll get over it? I haven't been tested once during this thing. If I test positive right now, do I have to be, oh my God, quarantine yourself? Like, dude. Again, not to be an ass, but this is kind of like an old people thing. They're the ones who need to be concerned for their health when they get this stuff. Everybody else seems to be getting over it when they get it. Literally everybody else. And don't tell me about the 2 babies that died. That's like 2 out of how many? Dr. John Cowden, the state's chief medical examiner, says she was very concerned about the upcoming flu season, a threat that was avoided last winter due to when COVID-19 arrived. She urged everyone to get vaccinated. Whitmer, whose handling of the pandemic is supported in polling, has been saying that the emergency will not last forever. Are you sure? Are you sure? She said the world is on the cusp of a vaccine and therapeutics are being developed to treat COVID. Why do we need a cure? Why? Why do we need this? Jeez. Why do we need a vaccine? Sorry, why do we need a vaccine for it? This is stupid. Quote, all of these factors will go into it's safe to exit the state of emergency. We really do believe that is a matter of months, she said. You want to do this for some more months? The director of Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently estimated that a vaccine could start going to healthcare workers and other high-risk people perhaps in January or even late this year if one is approved, but it is unlikely to be available more broadly before late spring or summer. There will be, quote, there will be time between when the vaccine is approved and making sure that it's actually distributed so it has an impact on the spread of the disease in the state, unquote. Cowden said. Totten cautioned that Michigan is not an island, saying every state surrounding it currently has higher case rates. He cited COVID-19's disproportionate impact on people of color and see, oh my God. What the fuck, dude? Has anybody explained why it impacts black people more? Or do they just keep saying that, hey, oh, black people, like, really? Did the government come up with something did they put it in Popeye's chicken? Is that what happened? I'm sick of hearing this color narrative crap. It's really bugging me. And lastly, it ends with this quote. We're just incredibly mindful of the threat to life that this poses if we're not doing everything we can to hold this back. Unquote. Look, again, I just really don't understand why it isn't handling either one way, either opposite ends of the spectrum is my thing. Either literally close everything, or just leave the shit alone and let who die die. Like, just stop. If people wanted you to do this for them, you would have more people complying. But you have a lot of people that go against it. Let it go. Let it the fuck go, especially now, at this point. Now, let it go. But that'll do it for the last one of this first season of this podcast. Probably 2 or 3 weeks. I don't want to go 10 on, then 4 off, because at that point, it'll be like, might as well do it every other week. So, yeah, just 2 or 3 weeks and try to figure out exactly what direction I'll do with season 2. That's it. Be right, not positive. Out.